Behind the golden gates and centuries of tradition, a story unfolds that has shaken the very foundations of the British monarchy. A story of power, privilege, and allegations that refuse to fade into history. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, the Queen's favorite son, once a war hero, now a figure shrouded in scandal. And just when the world thought this chapter was closed, new claims have emerged. This is the story of a prince who fell from grace, and the women who say their voices were never truly heard. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to a time when Andrew was Britain's golden prince. Born in 1960, Andrew Albert Christian Edward was the third child and second son of Queen Elizabeth II. Unlike his older brother Charles, who carried the weight of the crown, Andrew was free, charismatic, adventurous. In 1982, during the Falklands War, Andrew flew helicopters in combat. He was a hero. The press loved him. The public adored him. Throughout the 80s and 90s, the tabloids dubbed him Randy Andy, a playboy prince photographed with beautiful women, living the life most could only dream of. In 1986, he married Sarah Ferguson in a fairy tale ceremony. Two daughters followed, Beatrice and Eugenie. From the outside, it looked perfect. But behind the palace walls, Andrew was cultivating friendships that would one day destroy everything he'd built. In the late 1990s, Prince Andrew met Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein was a financier, a man who moved in elite circles, surrounded by wealth, power, and young women. Lots of young women. What Andrew saw as a valuable connection to powerful Americans was actually something far darker. In 2008, Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of soliciting prostitution from a minor. He served just 13 months in a private wing of a county jail. Most people would have severed ties immediately. In 2010, 2 years after Epstein's conviction, Prince Andrew was photographed with him in New York Central Park, walking, talking, like old friends. The palace scrambled to explain. Andrew claimed he was there to end the friendship in person, but the damage was done. Then came the allegations that would change everything. Virginia Giuffre, formerly Virginia Roberts, came forward with a shocking claim that she had been trafficked by Epstein and forced to have sexual encounters with Prince Andrew when she was just 17 years old. And there was a photo, Andrew's arm around Virginia's waist. Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's alleged accomplice, smiling beside them. For years, Andrew remained silent, until November 2019, when he made a decision that would seal his fate. He sat down for an interview with BBC's Emily Maitlis. No questions off limits. His chance to clear his name. Andrew claimed he couldn't have been with Virginia Giuffre on the night she alleged because he was at a Pizza Express in Woking with his daughter. He said he couldn't sweat, contradicting Virginia's account, because he had a medical condition from the Falklands War that prevented perspiration. The public reaction was swift and brutal. Memes flooded the internet. Legal experts shook their heads. Even royal commentators called it catastrophic. Days later, Prince Andrew stepped back from royal duties. His military titles were stripped. His patronage is gone. The Queen's favorite son had become the monarchy's greatest liability. In 2021, Virginia Giuffre filed a civil lawsuit against Andrew in New York. The case seemed headed for a very public trial. Then, in February 2022, a settlement was reached. The amount was undisclosed. Reports suggested around £12 million. Andrew admitted no liability, but agreed to make a substantial donation to Virginia's charity supporting victims' rights. In early 2025, the story took another turn. Recent news footage. Use web_search if needed for accuracy. New documents. New allegations. Names that had been redacted in previous court filings were now being revealed. According to recent reports, additional women connected to the Epstein case have come forward, claiming connections to Prince Andrew. Some allege they witnessed inappropriate behavior. Others describe encounters they say were orchestrated by Epstein's network. Andrew's representatives have firmly denied any new wrongdoing, stating that the settlement with Virginia Giuffre addressed all claims. They've called the new allegations baseless attempts to relitigate settled matters. But legal experts point out something crucial. A civil settlement doesn't prevent new accusers from coming forward, and it doesn't erase the questions that were never fully answered. What did Andrew really know about Epstein's activities? How many times did he visit Epstein's properties? Why did he maintain the friendship for so long? Ghislaine Maxwell is now serving 20 years in prison for sex trafficking. Before her sentencing, prosecutors released a trove of documents, thousands of pages revealing the inner workings of Epstein's operation. Andrew's name appears repeatedly throughout these files. Flight logs, witness statements, calendar entries. Each revelation adds another layer to a story that refuses to end. King Charles III has worked tirelessly to slim down and modernize the monarchy. Andrew doesn't fit into that vision. At major royal events, Andrew now watches from the shadows. No balcony appearances, no military uniform, no role in the institution he was born into. Sarah Ferguson, Beatrice, Eugenie, his daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, have stood by their father publicly while quietly carving their own paths, desperate not to let his scandal define them. A recent poll showed that 83% of Britons believe Andrew should have no public role. Many go further, questioning whether he should even retain his title. He remains at Royal Lodge in Windsor, reportedly in a standoff with King Charles over the property. A prince in exile, living in a 30-room mansion, funded by sources unknown. But beyond the royal drama, there's a more important question. What about the victims? Survivors groups argue that the focus on Andrew's reputation obscures the real issue, that powerful men used their positions to exploit vulnerable young women, and most of them faced no real accountability. Virginia Giuffre has continued her advocacy work, speaking out about trafficking and the importance of believing survivors. She said that her case against Andrew was never just about money. It was about being heard. Prince Andrew maintains his innocence. His lawyers dismiss new claims as attempts to profit from his notoriety. His supporters say he's been unfairly tried in the court of public opinion. But the women connected to this case say something different. They say this isn't about a prince. It's about a system that protected powerful men while silencing those they harmed. The British public remains divided, but largely skeptical. Trust in the institution has been damaged. And with each new revelation, that damage deepens. King Charles has made it clear, the monarchy must earn its place in modern Britain. Scandals like this threaten that very existence. Legal experts suggest more revelations could be coming. Epstein's estate litigation continues. More documents could be unsealed. More names could emerge. Prince Andrew was once a war hero, a beloved member of the royal family, a man who had everything. Now, he's a cautionary tale about privilege, power, and the price of association. The question that haunts the palace isn't whether Andrew will return to public life. It's what other secrets are still waiting to be revealed, and whether the monarchy can survive them. In the coming months, unsealed documents from the Epstein case are expected to reveal more names from Andrew's inner circle. Investigators are still pursuing leads connected to Epstein's properties in New York, Paris, and the Caribbean.